Hello, and welcome to Iacon Underground Radio for the week of June 20th, 2018. I'm Jen.
And I'm David. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. We are trying to get back into a regular schedule, which is something that seems to be hopefully getting easier and easier. So yeah. But we are getting together this week. We are going to talk about various little bits of news that have come up over the last few months. What?
I don't even remember when the last episode was.
Toy Fair.
Oh, that's not that long ago, I guess.
We're old enough that doesn't seem like that long a time. It's because we're old.
February, that's not that bad.
And after that, we have decided, after much reluctance and dragging of feet and gnashing of teeth, we have decided to actually watch some of the Machinima Titans Return cartoon.
Yeah, against our better judgment, because we watched the first season, and then I said, no, I don't want to watch anymore. And then
we watched Combiner Wars, and then I was just sort of like, hey, this is a thing that, we should probably watch at some point just to say we did it. And there are like actual voice cast people,
yeah, the voice cast got better. That's a plus.
So, yeah, it was sort of morbid curiosity, I would say, that we decided what we are going to do is watch the first two halves of Titans Return, 5 episodes at a time, in 2 chunks, and that'll give us something nice and structured to come back and, like I said, get back on a proper schedule for. And then we will do the same thing with Power of the Primes. As of now, that is on episode 7. So that honestly will probably be finished by the time we get to watching the rest of that. We are both... I know we're both behind on Optimus Prime. I am caught up on Lost Light. I know you're a bit behind on it.
Yeah, I was current for a while, and then actually it may have been whenever we recorded our last episode. I might have stopped. I just got behind on volumes, and I'm further behind on Optimus, but I can catch up at some point.
Yeah.
Before it ends, I'll be done before it ends. Just in time for a reread.
I have a nice hammock set up. I need to just take my touchscreen laptop down there and load up all those comics and just hang out and get caught up one of these days when it's bearable outside.
We'll get to that in the future. We'll get back to it. Although an issue comes out, is it Lost Light comes out this week?
Yes, so there's a new issue of Lost Light coming out, next week, I believe. So hopefully we will be getting, we'll get caught up to talk about that. As far as new stuff, though, so I did not get a chance to pick up the Unicron Free Comic Book Day comic, but you said you picked it up.
I did.
Did you?
I didn't read it. It's stuff. It's nice. It looks pretty. It's by Barber and, the art's by Milne. Okay, I read it wrong before.
Oh, okay.
Written by John Barber, art by Alex Milne, colors by Sebastian Chang.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I should look into seeing if that's floating around somewhere. Did not ask for the day off in advance, and that's a thing I have to do now. And it was a little bit of a journey to my nearest comic book shop. So that's a thing. On one hand, I am really disappointed that the IDW universe is coming to an end as we know it. I guess I just really hope that they continue. I mean, I can certainly see that it's gotten to a point where it's so unwieldy that I can certainly see why, especially because they tried to do all this side Hasbro stuff that no one actually cared about.
Crossing with G.I. Joe and Visionaries and Mask and whatnot. Yeah, that kind of futzed with it a bit, but I don't know.
I mean, they did some neat things, but it didn't exactly catch fire in the comics industry or the internet or Tumblr or anything. So I don't know if that just sort of petering out really has much to do with it. I think it's probably just more that it's gotten to be a big unwieldy thing, and I mean, even like the big name comics companies are always like, oh, let's just reboot everything. So honestly, the fact that we've gone this long without like a new 52 or whatever crazy, what was it, like Secret Wars or something they did in Marvel, that was
recently
after the whole John
Secret
Hickman
Wars
thing
3,
with the really
4,
stupidly named Thanos minions who ended up in Infinity War.
Oh, did he create that? I thought somebody else.
Proxima Midnight.
I kind of
my
like
beefy waifu. My giant space waifu. Proxima Midnight.
Anyway, yeah, it's...
But, yeah,
there've been,
so
like,
it's...
I think, what is it? No, I had something and now it's gone.
I mean, I guess we should really be thankful that it took them this long before they had Superboy punch a hole in reality and reset everything just because continuity had gotten too unwieldy.
Which okay, actually, that they've waited this long to bring up Unicron and he's the Superboy punching a hole in time? I'm fine with that.
Okay, that, honestly, the fact that it took them this long, like, didn't Transformers Prime not even get through the first season without going there?
I don't think we've gotten hints. I
forget whether it was the end of the
but
first
it's coming.
Season. Yeah, it's definitely coming.
I think maybe it's hinted at some point in the first, but it's heavy in the second.
I was like, oh yeah, Unicron Trilogy, which had it in the name, and also Unicron is frightening. Unicron will destroy space. It's better when the minicons don't talk, because when they talked it was weird things like that. So, anyway, yeah, it's really kind of amazing that it took them this long to get into Unicron. I think it was really cool how that resulted a lot in being able to do the sort of explorations of religion in society that they got to do, especially James Roberts got to do, because it's hard being the atheist when you're living on God and he's just like, hey. So
yeah, that was the thing. I think James Roberts recently, I think he posted that he's had 100 comics published now. I think that was it.
Nice.
Or it's coming up on 100.
Good job. So yeah, I'm glad that they let him. I mean, I'm glad. Basically, I'm very sad to see it go, but I'm really happy that they let it go on as long as it did, without a reboot. Which, big comic companies are just constantly rebooting everything. I am hopeful that whatever happens next will be just as good. I'm holding on to hope.
Yeah, well, it'll probably be more involved with, like, their new evergreen designs of Transformers that they're doing in what's the next series even called?
Cyberverse?
Cartoon series?
Yeah, Cyberverse.
Is that it? Oh, I just remember the Cyberverse toy line. Well, whatever that is, they're probably going to go along with that. Designs are probably tie in more with that, I would think.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's like whoever they get the right. I mean, Are you bringing James Roberts back? Or are we setting him free and hoping he goes to some book series I like from Marvel or something?
I mean, Margaret Scott is getting work with DC now. I think isn't she doing the new Batgirl book?
I didn't really pay attention to the announcements. It was something.
So,
I know she's had a few more independent series published since.
I follow her on Twitter and also her husband.
Oh.
But,
I think I do.
Yeah, it's, so yeah, I hope that some of the people involved, you know, continue on to other things, or, you know, at least, it's like anytime anything is allegedly ruined forever, it's not like you lost what went before. You can always reread More Than Meets the Eye and Lost Light and Till All Are One and the Windblade minis, and
now we have more good stuff to reread. I mean, I reread the original 80 and a 4-issue limited series Transformers comics from Marvel like 5 times.
I know, same. I haven't done it in a while.
Well, I haven't had to because we've had good IDW books.
Yes. Yeah, like in the 90s when I started getting involved, I think of it as being adult fan, but we're talking like 14, 15 years old, so your mileage on whether that is adult may vary. But yeah, still that older, not a small child fandom. But yeah, when there wasn't a lot else going on. So yeah, we've had a lot of great stuff. We've been spoiled, and I hope that continues. You know what's not going to be continuing? Is Toys R Us.
Yeah, that's news.
Look at my seg.
Yeah, that's happened since our last episode. I think it's so long, fuzzy. But yeah, Toys R Us going out of business. I'm guessing it probably isn't going to be open next time I go. And the last time I went, it was cleared out of Transformers, or any good Transformers I'd want. Not that they'd restocked it all, but
I've been going to one. There are 2 that are about like a 45-minute to an hour drive from me. One of them is definitely looking like picked over dregs at this point. The other one seems to be like a warehouse dumping ground, because they'll get like just huge sections of. For some reason right now, all the Transformers they have left is about 100 Autobot symbol backpacks. That's it. They didn't even have that many backpacks before, but I guess they found a case or were sent a case or something. So interestingly, I would have to poke around and see if this has popped up anywhere else, but there was that Grotesque, that the Titans Return Grotesque, that was supposed to be a Toys R Us exclusive after being on the convention circuit.
Yeah,
and that showed up in a big stack of them. Bel Air, Maryland. And,
I think I remember somebody else tweeting about them showing up somewhere.
Someone else tweeted about it. I did see one other tweet about it, but I ended up asking the person, and they also found them at Bel Air, Maryland. There may have been some other ones since then. I know there was one person on Twitter who bought like 45 of them to distribute to the fandom. So I don't know if any other Toys R Us's have gotten those, or if they just sent all of them that they had in the warehouse to that one, but it's entirely possible they did, because it was like
probably, yeah, because like,
a big
why
section
redistribute
of them?
To everything? Like, my Toys R Us hadn't got anything new in like 2 months, I think. It was just slowly weeding through what it had.
The only interesting thing like that I've seen at the one that I go to that seems to be like a clearinghouse one, was, they got in like, not even just like an end cap or a shelf section, but like an entire like aisle of a later wave of Star Wars Forces of Destiny that has Luke in it. So for some reason you want a Forces of Destiny Luke.
No, I think...
That particular Toys R Us seems to have gotten, like, all of Toys R Us's warehouse stock of them. So yeah, I get the impression there are a few Toys R Us stores that are probably going to be the last ones to close, that the distribution center just sent, like, all their final cases to. But yeah, so that's, man, it's sad. There's not a lot to say other than that. You know, if you're not familiar with what was going on, you can always go research the whole Bane Capital thing. I have a lot of feelings about that I won't go into here because this is not socialism underground.
No, it reminds me of like when KB went out of business and Child World went out of business. And wait, didn't KB go out of business for the same damn reason?
Yeah, it was Bane Capital. It was the exact same company that bought them and then saddled them with a bunch of debt so they could just leech money from them in interest and eventually put them out of business. So, but yeah, it's just messed up, I think, because it's such a cultural institution and not just like in the way that, like, maybe Walmart is, but it's specifically a cultural institution that's connected to, like, toys and childhood. Yeah. And, you know, I saw people who were not so involved in maybe the toy collecting side of things who were like, oh, well, the problem is just that kids don't buy enough toys. They're more interested in electronics and video games. Toys R Us had so many, like, half the stuff I bought there was probably actually video games. So, as far as the going out of business stuff, I got, like, 10% off a copy of Disgaea 5 for the Switch, so, you know, it's...
Oh, no, I should have got the games before. The games are gone at mine now. Yeah, because it's actually... Toys R Us was, I think, the first place I ever bought video games as a small child, or went to pick out games that my parents would buy as a small child. You grab the little slip and you hand it in and get your game. Which was a weird
they had
system.
the little flap that, you know, had like a photocopy or whatever of the cover, and well, I mean, that's not that different from the system at, say, GameStop. It's just that they actually have the case on the wall, and you go and take them the case, and they just have it behind the counter. Sometimes the one they give you is not even the case that was on the shelf. It's like a fresh sealed one that they had in a drawer. But yeah, so it's not even that Toys R Us wasn't keeping up with that sort of thing. When I had gone there, and I think, didn't you get something that was, like a Dragon Ball Z, like, Bandai? Were those the figure arts ones? Those weren't Figma, were they?
No, where is it? Is it Bandai? Where's it? Oh, that's weird. Well, I got, like, an energy effect aura thingy for Dragon Ball Z from... Well, it's Bandai. It doesn't say a specific thing, but I accidentally, I think I got it.
The
like
SHF figure arts.
Yeah, it works with them. I have it. I have Serval and Beerus standing on it right now. Beerus I got at the at Toys R Us. Yes, I got the kitty.
I saw the best cosplay picture of a
him.
cat.
I linked that. A Sphinx cat dressed up as Beerus. It was so adorable. Yeah, he was the only big thing I kind of got there when it was, I think he was 30 or 40% off when that happened. The last time I went, there was like nothing, but I saw a little Banana figure, so I grabbed that. Banana.
Yeah, so they had, and they had Sailor Moon stuff.
Yeah, which my store was like way in the back. I was waiting for that stuff to go down low. A Vegeta sold out before I got to it.
I was literally hemming and hawing over picking up the Sailor Mercury, and then, like, someone picked it up when I was in the next aisle. So,
yeah,
that's what I get. But yeah,
well,
so
you had to do the old system.
getting...
You would take the one you want and put it behind some other things, which we can't do at Toys R Us anymore. Well, there were a few Beeruses, but the one I got was in the back. It's like, hello, little kitty.
So I felt like they really were actually keeping up as well as they could with, being saddled by all this stuff, all this weird financial parasitism. So I don't think you can even blame them for not keeping up, because they were definitely focusing a lot. I mean, they were one of the only places you could go that were, a brick and mortar store where you could buy a lot of the, McFarlane stuff and Aliens figures.
It was the only place I could find, Godzilla figures or Pacific Rim.
Yeah, and the fact that there's now... I mean, I've discovered Books A Million recently, now that I'm on the East Coast, and they carry a decent bit of that sort of stuff. But, I mean, basically, they filled a niche that is just no one else is filling, and that makes it really sad. It's not just that they were a cultural institution, but they were filling a particular role that really nobody else is filling quite the same way that they did, and that just it breaks my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. That's sad. But yeah, I've heard that some people manage to pick up G2 Primus.
Yeah, there was
the movie
the big
Primus
Cybertron
for discount.
I should have gone a while ago, because the last time I was there, maybe it was a month ago, they still had 2 or 3, but then when I went back a few days ago, they were gone.
Actually, what's really sad is there's this outlet mall that I used to go to a lot, in my late teens as a toy collector, and they had a Toy Works there. And then when I went there again a couple months ago, right after Christmas, the place where Toy Works had been, and if you're not familiar, Toy Works was KB's outlet imprint. They were also a great place to pick up ridiculous knockoffs. I don't know why they carried ridiculous knockoffs when KB itself didn't, but that's where I picked up the shiny, crappy Gundam, which was a toy of Gundam Wing that was approximately 10 inches or so high. Its only articulation was at the elbows, and it was chromed, but just on the front half. The back half was just solid white plastic, and it came with some assorted weapons it couldn't hold, and that was the shiny, crappy Gundam. It's so bad, but yeah, stuff like that. And it was when I went there last, they had been replaced with some kind of Toys R Us outlet store, that exact same location in the mall. And now that's gonna close. And it was so weird that, it was where the Toy Works used to be. And now that's going to. And it makes me sad. But yeah, that's, it is what it is. Hopefully something will pop up and, fill that spot, and we won't have to just end up going to GameStop or Target or whatever for all our games and...
I'm gonna, unless somebody else buys out the one that was near
go
me,
to the internet.
I'm stuck with Walmart and Toys or Target. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
which
as far
means
as
I'm gonna be using online more, probably.
As far as my local ecosystem, it's just Walmart and Target and a game man. I would say I'm surprised we only have one GameStop, but we also only have one Starbucks that isn't in the Target, so... I guess that's...
Presumably there's a Starbucks, but I don't drink coffee.
You don't drink coffee. But like I said, there are a couple larger towns a little further, and if I put in about an hour 15, an hour and a half, I can get to, a major metropolitan area where they have an Ollie's. Which sadly did not have Triptychon last time I went, but it did have an Ever After High doll that had been previously a Toys R Us exclusive that I was too broke to buy before, and then I bought her, and I was very happy. Anyway,
Anyway,
girls.
other news, there's shit has probably happened, but the only notable thing that I remember happening is Saban sold Power Rangers to Hasbro. What?
Didn't we find out about that around Toy Fair? I think we just didn't really get to talk about it.
No, it was
Toy
rumors it was gonna happen, I think. I think it was like early rumblings that like they were getting they got the license to make the toys. That's what happened first.
That's right. They got the license to make the toys, and that was announced at Toy Fair, and now they just straight up
own Power Rangers. Okay.
If Saban is selling stuff to Hasbro, does that mean Hasbro can get the rights to the Robots in Disguise 2001 cartoon back?
Maybe? I mean, they got something else besides just Power Rangers, but I forget what.
God, that's probably such a rights nightmare.
Yeah. Presumably that would have been handled over. But Power Rangers is a big get, and since I watched a Twitch stream of a Power Rangers RPG live played, including was it like the current Blue Power Ranger? I guess he's still the current Blue Power Ranger, Peter Sodarso, Bulk from the classic Power Rangers, Paul Scherer, and some internet people. It's like I got interested in Power Rangers this past year because of that. Because I never really cared about it. I would just, hey, giant monster fights with robots. That's neat. Oh, there's kids backflipping and going, hey-ah, stuff. It's like, whatever. But the RPG was fun.
I used to think the Red Dragon Thunder Zord was super hot.
I guess it was a good design. I was always into the Green Dragon Zord because it's Mecha Godzilla with more stuff glued onto it. I love that.
Yeah. So that sounds like a good transition there.
Yeah.
To talking about Titan's return.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like what are we going to get Power Ranger Transformers crossover toys? That I want.
I mean,
I want a red Tyrannosaurus Optimus Prime.
Man. I mean, aren't they bringing back the Star Wars Transformers whole subline thing?
I thought they already did that, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. I don't know, but it's like Power Rangers more than any other sub thing that Hasbro has works well with Transformers. I mean, just take a Zord, make it a robot.
Giant robots.
It's easy. Bumblebee transforms into a saber-toothed tiger now. That's cool.
I mean, the Red Dragon Thunder Zord was already kind of a transformer.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like they already transform into things. Some of them transform into humanoid things or just components of a larger thing. Admittedly, having an Optimus Prime that transforms into a dinosaur and becomes a torso of a larger robot, that may not happen at reasonable enough scale, but I'm excited for the possibility.
Look, I would just tune into the last 10 minutes of the show.
Same.
So I could see the Red Dragon Thunder Zord. Okay, let's be honest. The other reason I watched it was because Trini.
Yeah.
I like Trini. She was my favorite.
But that raises a slight like, Hasbro has pretty much everything, every one of their licenses. The comics they put out are through IDW. Whereas Power Rangers comes out through Boom, which are really good comics that are still coming out right now. They're fun. So, I don't think they would pull it away from Boom, because that's doing good. And I don't really remember what other comics Boom has, but that Hasbro has it, and everything else they have in-house is at IDW. I don't know. That's up in the air. Anyway, yes, transition over to say yeah.
So yeah, the craziest thing about this series is the casting. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, because
and it's to the point where at one point they actually switch voice actors. For the most part, if someone was cast in Combiner Wars and they carried over, they stay the same character. Yeah. For instance, Frank Todaro, BotCon Buddy is still Starscream. Megatron is still Jason Marnocha. Salty, sassy Megatron.
The one bright shining point in the first season, sassy Megatron.
Yes. He's so good. But okay, so, and I believe, let me double check this, but I believe Windblade and Mistress of Flame are like...
Wait, did they change Victorion, or did I just not remember it was Kerry Walgreen in the first one? Oh no, I guess it wasn't, according to the internet. Nope, it's Titans Return she's in, but not the first one. Okay. Although not that she sounds like her normal self, because half the voices, like, there's the robot reverb, but on some of the voices it affects it so much that you can't understand what they're saying. Like Rodimus Prime at the beginning, I couldn't understand him barely. And then he went into a room with a bunch of stone statues that were even more incomprehensible to be heard. I wish there had been subtitles.
Yeah. That's right. Mistress of Flame's voice actress also appeared on the reality television series Internet Icon. So yeah, they got like some random YouTube people and...
YouTube people that we'd never heard of.
Yeah. However, now, okay, I realize this is just one of those, like, me things, like, as a writer who works at Starbucks, doesn't get work, the fact that they got this budget and threw it all at voice actors and did not get any better writers. It's just, it breaks my heart.
From what we've watched, like, at least Sassy Megatron is still written right. He's my favorite Sassy. I was thinking about this last night, like, I now have a triumvirate of Megatrons. Like, the scariest Megatron is in Prime. The best Megatron is in Beast Wars. And this is the best Sassy Megatron that we've had voiced. I guess the IDW comics is on par, but we don't hear his voice. Although in my head, it's kind of this Megatron.
Yes. But yeah, so it makes me sad that, again, all of my skills are undervalued by society. But, you know what's not undervalued by society is Jason David Frank. So let's go down a list here. Did they have...
Speaking of Jason David Frank, he was on 2 episodes of the Twitch streamed Power Rangers RPG on Hyper RPG.
Aha!
I'm plugging a show I have no association with, other than I enjoyed it. He was
So
in the Boom comics. There's an evil version of his character. Was it Tommy Oliver, called Lord Dracon?
Yes.
He came back for the second episode as that, and kept trying to kill the other players. It was kind of hilarious. Anyway, yes, back to this.
So, okay, the first thing that one might notice is Victor goddamn Caroli.
Yeah, that when I started playing it, it's like, wait, this is a pretty good damn Victor Caroli impression. And then I realized, and then you told me, it's like, oh, it is Victor Caroli, he's just older. Oh, that's why he sounds a little off.
That's the thing is, I was like, holy crap, is that really? And then that's when I pulled up the TF Wiki page for the series, and I was like, oh, that's right, because I remembered they had, like, a bunch of big deal people for Power of the Primes. I forgot that had started with Titan's Return. So yeah, that's the first thing you'll notice is, I mean, yeah, it's been 30 years. He's older, so he sounds different. Also sounding very different is Judd Nelson.
Yeah. Well, wait, did he voice the Rodimus Prime at the beginning, or did he start when it was Hot Rod? Because he sounded different when he was Hot Rod. Sounded better when he was Hot Rod.
The wiki page... I mean, okay, in Combiner Wars, it was not Judd Nelson.
No.
The wiki page does credit him as Judd Nelson as Rodimus Prime, Hot Rod, and spoilers.
But he's only Rodimus Prime for like half an episode.
So I don't know if... I assume that means that the other guy just didn't get called back. So that was still Judd Nelson. He also sounds a good solid 30 years older and possibly vaguely Southern at times, which is a little weird. I'm going down the page at this point. Additionally, Peter Cullen.
Of course. Was he not in the first season? I can't remember.
No. Optimus Prime was not Peter Cullen in the first season. That doesn't even get explained. It's just sudden shift to Optimus Prime sounding like Peter Cullen.
Why you sound like Optimus Prime sounds?
Yeah, he just sounds like an Optimus Prime. And then we have what I am personally super on the fence.
Yeah, it's a problem for you, but...
about Will Wheaton's Perceptor. Because on the one hand...
He does a good job as Perceptor. Okay. You're just used to, was it Paul Eating or something?
I am so used to Paul Eating. I mean, we have gone over how just absolutely I adore G1 cartoon Perceptor because he is precious science baby.
Well, yeah, well, if you're going to cast somebody in that role, Will Wheaton kind of fits.
But, I mean, Paul Eating is still working, and he still does that voice because he's in Fire Emblem Fates as basically that same voice. So if you ever want to listen to Perceptor saying sweet things to you, go to YouTube and look up Yukimura's English dialogue.
I can understand why they did it since the first season was full of internet people we've never heard of because we're getting older and we don't watch everything online, except I watch bad movie reviews. But Will Wheaton is the internet equivalent of, hey, he's actually an actor who's this massive nerd.
Yes. So, I mean, if you're going to toss
behind
out...
Sassy Megatron, he's the good part.
He's also not English enough because I'm really used to Paul Eating doing an English accent for that.
I guess.
But yes, if you're going to completely toss out all your prejudices about his previous voice acting, then yes, Will Wheaton is a very good Perceptor. I mean, he's sort of distractingly Will Wheaton. He definitely felt a little younger to me than Perceptor usually comes off, but that's, I don't know. I liked him when I could get over him, A, not being Paul Eating, and B, being distractingly Will Wheaton.
Well, it seemed like he was trying more than he did in the new MST3K when he's in the beginning of the first episode, where it seemed like he was phoning it in that. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's definitely, he does a good job. It is sort of, I did have my moments of, haha, it's Will Wheaton reading lines about Starscream, because I've apparently forgotten. I'm sure that's only going to get worse when we get to Power of the Primes. We have Ron Perlman as Optimus Primal.
Oh, I'm excited to get there. That's going to be a few episodes of this.
I mean, I realized that I should have been over, popular people saying Transformers dialogue somewhere around 2007, but somehow it still sneaks up on me.
Well, we got frickin' John Goodman. That still surprises me in the movies.
Yeah. So,
anyway.
There's Computron, who's just some guy, though I really love that he's still doing the G1 thing of talking like comic Shockwave.
Yeah, it's a heavy effect on it. It doesn't really matter who's doing
Datum.
it.
Metroplex is Nolan North, actually not sounding super Nolan Northy, so that's good. I guess part of the Will Wheaton thing is that he's just doing Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
He's doing a Will Wheaton voice. And being very excited about science. He's basically Wesley Crusher the robot.
Yes.
Fortress Maximus, who we didn't really get to, is going to be Michael Dorn.
He hasn't said anything. That's it. That's good on paper. I don't know how much effect they're going to put on his voice, but hopefully it's good.
But yes, Jason David Frank, I guess, escaped from Wizard World for long enough to record some lines as Fortress Maximus's head's head.
He does other things.
Emissary.
He did a promotional video for the Boom Comics in costume as Drakon, the evil Green Ranger.
Nice. Great.
He gets work.
He does. Well, I don't think the problem is that he doesn't get work. I think the problem is that he is clearly owned by Wizard World.
Possibly.
I mean, that's like, I can't imagine him having time to do anything but have like $50 photo ops. Anyway, moving on, we got, okay, so we went over Megatron and Starscream. We got Overlord, who's Patrick Sates. I'm not digging, okay.
Well, part of the problem is like, well, there was just the Japanese Overlord, which I don't even remember what he sounded like. So we have never had an English Overlord voice, but we have Overlord in IDW comics, and we probably each have our own headcanon voice. Although for starters, it should be British.
Yeah.
And for second, like, I imagine him a lot smooth. I kind of like David Tennant in my head. So a little bit deeper than that, but the voice they give him here is, I have no idea even what. The closest I can think of it is like some white guy trying to sound like Shaft. And it doesn't
he's
work.
Definitely got this sort of, okay, let's talk about Overlord in here for a moment. He's definitely got a lot of IDW influence. Now, the thing is, I am...
Kind of?
I haven't watched it in a while. I really need to rewatch Master Force because I do have the DVD set. I just haven't gotten around to it recently. But he was really just... I mean, if for those who are not familiar with the Godmasters in Master Force, they were basically mecha. They were not Cybertronians of their own right. They were just piloted by these people. So Overlord was really just the robot controlled by Mega and Giga, or Miga and Giga, as they seem to get pronounced a lot. And so Overlord himself wasn't really much of a character. Also, I would like to point out that Giga wore a wimple, which is like the little like pointy hat thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Overlord didn't have a lot of stuff going on in the Japanese version. And really there wasn't, I mean, Overlord was released as a toy in the UK, which I'm sure is why James Roberts was like, I'm totally gonna use this guy. You know, that was probably basically James Roberts' headcanon for his Overlord toy. He is, I mean, there's not a lot of other character to draw on. And the thing is, I think he is good used as like this almost like horror movie sort of monster. Except that like instead of slowly crawling after you, he's just being really smarmy.
Yeah, he's just smarmy, and nothing you do to him does anything. Like in the IDW comics, you can hit him. It doesn't stop him, but you can shoot him. In this, it's like any attack that happens to him, he shrugs off like he's a bad wrestler. He no-sells everything.
I think we're well equipped to discuss this series as we have gone through Beast Wars and Beast Machines, and more recently Transformers Prime as part of Stasis Pod. a part of the problem is that they just didn't seem to have, like, additional damage textures, and so he gets beat up on and nothing happens, but also everyone else gets up on and not a lot seems to happen, so
but
it sort of takes
because,
away some of the impact.
Nothing, like, seems to even, like, make him take a step back. It just, like, he shows up, he's an indestructible Mary Sue badass, and he just murders a character for seemingly no reason.
The biggest problem with it is that maybe it's writing, maybe it's direction, but I think
the fight scenes suck.
So Overlord shows up, and, I mean, one of the biggest things he does is he basically shows up to abuse Mistress of Flame, and he's, like, mouthing off at her. Yeah. So he's mouthing off at her, and she's attacking him the whole time. And if it had been done so that it was more like about her desperation to try to damage him, so that it was more like of a sense of dread of, oh my god, this guy is standing here being smarmy, but also he is a force of sudden violence, and because that's the other thing, is he's talk, and then suddenly kill you. And that is definitely what he does here, but you don't really get that moment of horror until it switches to and suddenly kill you.
Yeah.
And I felt like that made it seem really like an unintended whiplash.
Yeah, also, it's like, well, Mistress of Flame in the comics, she's tall, she's kind of menacing with a giant hammer, but she doesn't really do much, and I don't remember her doing much in the first series, Combiner Wars, so who knows how strong she's supposed to be, and just, Overlord's just, you mean nothing to me, so the tension in the fight, badly animated, which is amazingly so, she's zipping around like a Naruto attack with skipping frames, bouncing around like there's 10 of her. It's just...
Yeah.
There's no tension, because why do we care?
Right. There's not a lot of... You don't really get the stakes because it hasn't really been established in this setting. I mean, you're more like...
What is he doing there? Why is she staying there? Why doesn't she just run away? What is she protecting? There's no reason for her really to fight. It feels more
like you're just supposed to be amused by his chatter, and then whereas it's not so much you being intimidated by the fact that he's just standing there talking and none of your attacks hurt him. So it just it was definitely, an Overlord that is very heavily influenced by the IDW version of him, but just isn't very well handled. I think a lot of it is just the direction. I think that you're not really, I don't know, more like shooting camera angles up at him, so he seems imposing. But...
that would have been good. Like, something to make him out like he's a Jason or a Freddy, or any kind of horror monster. But no, he's just...
Freddy's good, because Freddy was chatty.
Yeah, well, the thing, he's just sass-talking Freddy, who stands there and is not really menacing. He just shoots his little belly guns and then kills her.
Until suddenly he kills her.
It's infuriating.
I am just, the more I think about it, the more 100% I am on board with your David Tennant suggestion. So there you go.
Yeah, like, as Purple Man, it works.
Yeah, so I guess the other interesting voice stuff we didn't really get to yet. Now, as those who listen to Stasis Pod may be aware, I have strong feelings about titling. The titles of these episodes are terrible. They're
Aftermath and Rebirth. Our heroes respond. That sucks. The fight begins so...
Our heroes respond is such an anime episode title.
Yeah, it is. Overlord and Emissary? Okay,
I think
guess
Overlord and Emissary would work if they were metaphorical names, and not literally, this is the episode where Overlord and also Emissary show up in completely unrelated subplots.
At the Last Second is not a good title, and I don't even remember it's what At the Last Second of, I guess. Metroplex dies.
Also, Hot Rod has a face mask, and why does he have a face mask? His
What?
toy doesn't
Yeah,
have
oh
a
my
face
God.
mask. What the hell?
He turns from Rodimus, he gets downgraded and gets an arm back. He becomes Hot Rod, and then he has a face mask until he gets his ass kicked at the end. Why face mask? Why? I
mean, it's obviously just he decided to wear a face mask for a bit because he just, like, closes it over his face. And then later he sort of opens it up, and then he gets sexually assaulted by Overlord.
Which, okay, that may have been the only good scene that we've seen so far with Overlord, because that was a very Overlord scene.
Yes, it was.
Like, he's hovering menacingly over Hot Rod on the ground, who can't move, and just glowing light is coming up from what could be his belly or his crotch. It's just taunting Hot Rod. That scene kind of worked. Which, I guess some of the scenes were okay, but a lot of the stuff is framed weird. Like, the Trypticon and Metroplex never really feel that big, because there's a lot of high camera angles. Godzilla! Go watch an old kaiju movie. The good ones, you're low, the camera's low. What? Gamera movies, the more recent Gamera movies. Watch them. Low camera angles, makes the monster feel big. Also the problem, like the detail on Trypticon and Metroplex, they have the same level of character detail that every other character has. So, from any other shot, they could be just the same size. The combiners themselves are not really that big either. I mean, they're just like 2 Megatrons tall. They seem pitiful.
Yeah.
And they get tossed around by Megatron in the next episode, which I accidentally watched because I watched them on YouTube, and they're not numbered. They just have the title. So I had to trust YouTube to tell me which one was the next one, and it was wrong.
Aww.
I will say, the backgrounds look fantastic.
They do look really good.
Like the establishing shots of like temples and the basilica or whatever the crap buildings they got, they look really pretty. Good background.
I do feel like they settled down Murder Windblade a bit in this, which is good. Having
because in the first series she was just murder hobo RC called Windblade.
Yeah. So here, once they establish, once Metroplex is involved, and, as all of this stuff is happening, they're just having a giant kaiju battle. But once Metroplex gets involved and her stuff ends up having more to do with her involvement in all the city speaker stuff, then it's a little more interesting. So she settles down and
it's the Windblade we know from the comics. Almost, but not really.
Yeah. A little more hot roddy, but not so bad. So yeah, it's definitely a show. It's sort of interesting to watch. Maybe it's just because I haven't had much Transformer stuff to watch lately.
Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Sunstorm show up to die in like high and die scene. They never get lines. They never transform.
I'm very curious about the score because it does. I don't know if it's actually Vince DiCola. I mean, they got so many other people. If it's not Vince DiCola, it's trying very hard to be Vince DiCola.
Yeah. Because
it is super on top of the epic 80s synth stuff. So, it was definitely very noticeable that it was, if not Vince DiCola, trying hard to be Vince DiCola. So, I can't find anything on the wiki or anything, though, about that being a thing. So maybe it's just not credited anywhere. So yeah, next, we will continue watching with Desperate Actions, Run for Our Lives, In Good Hands, Consumed, and
somebody gets eaten?
All Things Must Pass.
some of them do sound like G1 titles, but the other ones, like, Consumed does not sound right. In Good Hands. Okay, In Good Hand is as an IDW comic title that's really ironic because somebody loses their hands.
Yes.
That I can see, but...
No, none of these are good titles for anything. And maybe it's because they're 10-minute episodes, so very little happens in them, and you can just give them much more literal. I can't believe Overlord and Emissary is just straight up a title of an episode.
I can't believe these are like 11 to 12 minutes. Like, they feel so much longer. Because, like, some scenes just drag on. There's long breaks between characters talking, and...
And this series does very much, and this is sort of notable from the voice cast list, it absolutely suffers from the same problem that, say, any of the towns in Transformers Prime suffer from, where everything is just empty except for the principal cast, because they couldn't afford background characters.
Oh, they even say they're evacuating buildings like it's an episode of Power Rangers.
Or Dragon Ball Z.
Emissary does glow green like he's the Green Ranger, and it's...
I was amused by that.
Amusing, but yeah.
So it's definitely a show. I will continue watching it. I will continue making poor David watch it. I will continue listening to this video of Yukamura from Fire Emblem saying romantic things. And
this series would be so much more interesting and impressive if it was entirely fan-made, but that it's, like, official, and they got some voice actors, and presumably there's some budget behind it. It's, like... But how it's like, the old Botcan animation where Trent did the CG thing where it's the pre-Earth Predacons and Maximals...
Mm-hmm.
That was better done?
Yeah.
And that was on a shoestring budget, one guy doing it and not that many voices.
Yeah.
Plus, also, it's only one episode, so it tells everything it has to in a short span.
Yes.
Or it's like 2 halves or whatever the hell. It's this just drags on. What the hell is Overlord even doing? I guess we'll find that out before the end of this.
I mean, he does say something about Megatron, because Mistress of Flame thought he was Megatron when he came in, and he's like, oh, well, if you think I was Megatron, then he must be around. So I guess he's having a grudge against Megatron, which is, again, very IDW. But yeah, I assume he's got some kind of Unicron power thing going on. I'm just, I assume.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll know. We will know by the next time we convene for podcasting. Yeah. Well, that is it for this week, and for this episode, and hopefully not for too long in the future when we will get back and watch more of this and have some Lost Light to discuss. Oh my god. Etc., etc. So until then, we'll be signing off. This has been Jen.
And David. Oh, this is much longer than I wanted it to be. Oh well.
Iacon Underground Radio is hosted by iaconunderground.net. We are listener-supported through Patreon, where you can help us cover the cost of running this show and our other podcast, Stasis Pod, at patreon.com/iaconunderground. We are on Twitter at IaconUG, Tumblr at iaconunderground.tumblr.com, and Facebook at facebook.com/iaconunderground.